Well, good morning, or shall I say afternoon. My name is Ron Johnson, and it's an honor to be with all of you here today. For the past 23 years, I've had the privilege of serving the community of the city of Oakland and the Oakland Fire Department, and my journey has been one of dedication and unwavering commitment to public safety. So as we dive into the realm of emergency management, I want to start with one fundamental truth, and that is no single individual, no single agency can tackle the complexities of a disaster alone. Emergency management is, at its heart, it's a symphony of coordinated effort, and that's a testament that we can achieve if we are united. It's a team effort, and that's our greatest asset, and that's our greatest strength. So this belief has guided my career, and it will continue to shape my vision for the future. Now, my 23 years in the Oakland Fire Department has provided me with invaluable ground level perspective and crisis response. That goes from battling multi-alarm fires to managing large-scale incidents. I've witnessed firsthand the raw power of emergencies and the profound impact that they have on the communities. The experiences they've instilled in me is one of deep understanding of the incident command system, resource deployment, and the critical need for rapid and very decisive actions. Now, beyond the immediate response, I've seen the ripple effect of disasters as well, the long road to recovery, the human element of trauma, and the incredible resilience of the people. And it's a very holistic view that has drawn me into an increasingly toward emergency management and recognizing that our role extends far beyond the initial emergency. It's really all about preparedness, mitigating the response, and then the recovery. It's a continuous cycle in order to safeguard our community as a whole. So to get into this here, we have to think about the emergency management and how effective that we can be. So when we talk about emergency management and that effectiveness during incidents, it really boils down to several core principles. I boiled it down to about 4 core principles. The first one is proactive planning. And that is having a robust, adaptable plans that are regularly reviewed and exercised. The second one is clear communication. And that is ensuring seamless information that flows between all responding entities and to the public. The third is scalable resources. That is the ability to rapidly mobilize and deploy necessary personnel and equipment. And then the fourth is decisive leadership. That is strong incident command that can make critical decisions under pressure. So a vital component of this effectiveness is the effectiveness of our specialized teams during disasters. So whether it's our urban search and rescue that we call USAR, or our HAZMAT, which stands for hazardous materials teams, these highly trained units are capable of being used in very complex scenarios. And so my vision for these teams includes investments in their training, in their equipment, in their integration and multi-agency response frameworks, and ensuring that they can deploy swiftly and operate safely and effectively when every second counts. And we have those resources already here in Oakland. Our Station 3 is our HAZMAT unit. We have our USAR team, or the State of California Task Force 4, and that's based out of Oakland, which is a privilege. Not every task force is based out of the city that most resources respond to. So we're here in Northern California. So a lot of surrounding agencies come to Oakland to be a part of our own task force. So that's very unique for Oakland. So we're responsible for a very large area. And next is the way that Oakland's role in EMS, especially medical services in disasters. So the fire department's role in emergency medical services, that's EMS, during disasters is often understated, but absolutely critical. Now, and the reason why I say that is our primary image as the fire department is, of course, fire suppression. That's what people think of as firefighters, fire suppression. But a significant portion of our daily calls are EMS related. And so that role expands exponentially. And so my focus is on strengthening OFD's capacity as a primary provider of pre-hospital care during mass casualty incidents and widespread emergencies. So what does that mean? Well, it means enhanced training. So that means equipping all firefighters with advanced medical training beyond basic first aid. And we've been doing that for decades here in the Oakland Fire Department. All of our engines, our 26 engines, are what we call ALS, Advanced Life Support, and 2 of our 7 trucks are also Advanced Life Support. But the first paramedics that we had on these engines started in the year 2000. So we're 25 years deep into providing the highest level of pre-hospital care that exists in the country. So that's something that we've taken very seriously, and we've continued to enhance that training with other type of upgrades that paramedics can do, such as 12 leads in the field, and just different types of things that we have here in Alameda County that we've worked cohesively with our medical directors. We've also integrated logistics. So we've ensured medical supplies and equipment are readily available and can be rapidly distributed. So we have our EMS division and our EMS department, and they are in charge of all our EMS supplies. And we have a system, a computerized system that we do our equipment is done at a minimum once a month, and they distribute that to battalion houses, which are certain firehouses that are located strategically throughout the city, and all of our engine companies can come to those firehouses and they get the medical equipment that they need within the same day. So it's a very seamless distribution of equipment when they need it, and they usually get it within 24 hours. And we also get equipment 1-for-1 with the ambulance. So if we use equipment on scene, we get the replacement for that equipment on scene from the ambulance company that we're working with. We also have seamless integration. So we work closely with the hospital systems and other healthcare providers to ensure a smooth continuum of care in the field and with medical treatment. So like I mentioned, we work with our ambulance companies. That's Falk Ambulance here in Alameda County. We work closely with them as well as other hospital systems here. So we have our trauma centers here in Alameda County, which is Highland Hospital. And we also have some other adjoining hospitals that work with us here in the county as well. And then we have community paramedicine. So we're exploring programs where our paramedics can play a larger role in the community preparedness, especially for the vulnerable populations. So one program that we have here in Oakland is called CORE, called Citizens of Oakland Respond to Emergencies. That's what CORE stands for. And so it's a part of where the fire department actually teaches the citizens how they can do basic first aid. What can they do in the event of an earthquake or a wildland fire or some type of major disaster where the resources are taxed, the fire department is overwhelmed, and we can't get to all the emergencies within the community? What can the citizens do? And so we provide information that citizens can go ahead and take proactive actions to help us, such as shutting off gas to homes, such as first aid, just different things like that. So, and that's been very effective. And that's been a program that we've been doing for well over 15 years. We even have a graduation ceremony and classes and awards, and anyone of any age can participate in it as well. So entire families. So it's been a very effective program for us. We've also been forging partnerships. So effective emergency management is inherently collaborative, right? So my vision, as we're talking about for the next 4 or 5 years, places strong emphasis on developing partnerships. The fire department is really all about relationships with others. So what type of relationships are we talking about? Well, we're talking about with the private sector. So we're engaging with businesses, small local shops to large corporations, any private business, so that we can leverage the unique resources that they have, expertise, and logistical capabilities. Now that includes pre-negotiated agreements for supplies, transportations, and even temporary shelters in case there's some type of major disaster. We also work with our elected officials, that is, building strong and transparent relationships with our city, county, and state leaders. Now, fortunately, here in Oakland, we just elected Barbara Lee. She worked as a senator here in the state of California, and now she's working as a mayor of Oakland. So she is highly connected on the state level and even on the federal level with resources that we can use with elected officials. And then also on a more federal level, we can strengthen existing bonds and forging new ones with, well, not so much on the federal level, but on a more local level with police, public works, public health, first responder agencies, joint exercises, shared community structures, things like that, things within our local community that we can strengthen right here with other agencies within the city of Oakland and adjoining agencies. But we also need to work on a bigger level, this is what I want to get to, with state and federal agencies. So looking beyond our local partnerships, we need the ability to manage large-scale disasters. That hinges on working effectively with state and federal agencies. So organizations like Cal OES, that's California Office of Emergency Services, and also FEMA, that's the federal agency, the Federal Emergency Management Agency. Those are critical resources for funding and coordinating capabilities essential when things are overwhelmed. And we see that going on right now in Texas with the flooding. That's FEMA that's responding out there. And now Trump is also changing the way that FEMA responds. So we need to work with that. That's not a political statement. I'm not here to talk about political statements, but he is changing the way that response is mitigated and sent out. And so we need to stay abreast with the way the presidential administration is changing that so that we can get the resources that we need. So we have to really deepen those relationships and understand that, streamline those resources in our training with our personnel so that we can understand how we can get the most state and federal aid, ensuring timely access to that vital support. And then we also need to do regional drills. We need to actively engage with multi-jurisdictional exercises to test our interoperability and refine our collective response mechanisms. One thing that really affects us here in California is wildland firefighting and mutual aid. So given California's landscape, plans and methods for coordinating wildland firefighters and mutual aid, that's just paramount. This is where ICS started, Incident Command System started here in California, especially in Southern California. The threat of wildland-urban interface, that's called WUI, fires is ever present, and these incidents happen year-round. In fact, earlier this year in January, I went to Southern California and fought some of those fires. So we never used to have red flag warnings and fires in January. Now we do. That's in the middle of winter time. So my approach after seeing these types of incidents involves pre-season planning. I just mentioned it's year-round, but typically in the off-season, pre-season planning, we can collaborate with CAL FIRE and neighboring departments and land management agencies to identify high-risk areas and pre-position those resources and have clear communication protocols. We can also do mutual aid agreements, regularly reviewing and updating our mutual aid agreements through a master mutual aid agreement and ensure seamless cross-jurisdictional support. Joint training. We can conduct joint wildfire training exercises with local and state and federal partners to foster familiarity with tactics, equipment, and command structures. So we need to know what other agencies are doing so that we can understand each other. And we've been working on our language and making our communications universal no matter where we go throughout the state and especially the county. And then working with our residents with defensible space. And that's something that we do here in Oakland pretty extensively. We have an extensive wildland inspection program that we're in the middle of right now. And then we're looking at emerging trends. Finally, we must be accurate with these current and emerging trends that impact our emergency response. So we must gain trust in the community. That's been affected lately. We just need to engage with community, with all segments, and build those relationships before a crisis happens to ensure our communication and we are competent and accessible. And the fire department is the most trusted agency in the nation, and trust is earned through consistent and empathetic action. So that's something that we need to do. We need to build equity, by the diversity that we have in our community. We're very diverse here in the Oakland Fire Department within our ranks. It's not just about fairness, but it's also about effectiveness. Effective in our teams, in our communities, and understanding the needs of our communities as well. And then training our professionals in their professional development and methods of preparedness. So we do that with scenario-based training and realistic drills. So our vision for the next 4 to 5 years is very clear, and that's to build an emergency management framework in Oakland that's not just reactive, but truly proactive, resilient, and inclusive. It's all about strengthening our foundations, expanding our partnerships, and embracing innovative, and above all, ensuring the well-being of both the community members and those who serve them. So that's concluding what I had to say. It's about 15 minutes long, but I just really want to thank you for your time and attention. I'm very passionate about this work. I believe that by working together, we can build a safer and more prepared Oakland, and I welcome any questions that any of you may have.